All right, the WWE documentary Bray Wyatt becoming immortal. I thought this was another very well done documentary. So you have The Undertaker doing a lot of the narration. They also have a lot of footage from Wyndham Rotunda, from his brother, who we know as Bo Dallas. So we knew Bray, but a lot of this is here's the person behind it. This is Wyndham. This was, a little bit how it was him growing up. He was big into football for a while. Then he's like, oh no, I really love wrestling because his brother got into wrestling, and they tagged together in the Indies. And I was like, oh man. Then you dovetail that at the very end where, Taylor's Uncle Howdy. And he was super excited. He was like, I work with my brother. It's amazing. Then you had Bray's untimely passing. That's easily one of the most difficult parts to get through. Because from our standpoint, we as wrestling fans, we lost an amazing wrestler. But we didn't lose a dad. We didn't lose a husband. We didn't lose a brother. We didn't lose a son. We lost Bray. They lost Wyndham. And that was just, that was a hard part to get through. I do wish, when it comes to documentary, I wish they could interview more people. It was like, here's Seth, here's Becky, here's Sami Zayn, here's Cody every now and then. I was like, oh man, would have been amazing on Eric Rowan. Would have been amazing having been able to go, as Braun Strowman. If they could have gotten, Roman Reigns to talk about him. If they could have got, who at the time was Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, or anyone else that he worked with, get some of those people involved. But lots of these times, the E doesn't like to, bring people from other promotions to do sort of things. And it's also great to see him go from Husky Harris, which was a horrible gimmick, then became Huskus the Pig Boy. And how it's had nothing for him to do, so he did a creative thing, and that's led to Firefly Funhouse. How he's constantly reinventing himself. And how we never got to see, he was really hitting a stride when he came back. And he didn't really get to fully see all that, especially working with his brother. And it was like, man, the Mania match they were working towards him with Bobby Lashley was odd. I don't know how well that would have worked, but this is Bray. It would have been entertaining. He would have found a way to make this something memorable. And it was, again, he's an amazing creative individual. And it was great to see people go through this process, especially all the unseen footage was fantastic. They went into a decent amount, here's what led to him coming back. And those moments are incredible. So this person was just exploding with all of this imaginative talent, when he was let go, he started painting. And his art is just, it's what you'd expect to come from Bray Wyatt. And then when he came back for that second run, he was like, I found that I can draw. So anything he had in his mind, he could just sketch it out. And one of his best friends knew how to do prosthetics and the horror movie side of things. And was kind of like, hey, I have these ideas. So he could pull it on paper, hand it off to his buddy, who could then make a mask. And they even show some of the things that he wanted to do for the next evolution of what he was working on. And, it's 2 hours. Watch to the very end. So a little over 2 hours. Definitely worth your time. Like most WWE documentaries, this is done incredibly well. But this one gets to have that added heart to it, that added amount of love and respect. And man, it was crazy to sit back and kind of go, man, he came back with all this fanfare. that first promo that he cut, where it wasn't Bray, it was Wyndham. It was the man behind the persona. It was the man behind, the masks and all of the different monsters that he was. And then finally getting to bring his brother and actually, working with him on the main roster. Instead of being like the Deleters of Worlds and, the B-Team bit, which was fantastic as well. And it was like, man, who knows where we would be at right now? What things, I'll use, work names, Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy could have done. Who knows if when Alexa Bliss is back in the ring gear and ring shape and ready to get back in the ring, again, it's her decision, if she would have continued her character. There's some great highs and then, the lows. And when you're someone who has a passion for what you do, the highs are incredibly high and the lows are incredibly low. And the middle just feels boring. So you get to kind of be there for some of those moments. And then he won the championship. Cool. And then he was in like a burned body suit and he really couldn't move. And then he had the bizarre match at WrestleMania where he lost to Orton again. And there was weird shenanigans. And hearing from the people who knew him and who loved him more than the fans do. It's something that's easily one of the best documentaries they've done in a long time. And it's sad that I feel like we're going to appreciate him more now because he's gone. And I hope that when he had that last promo when it was just him as Wyndham, you can tell that he knew that we appreciated him. He knew that he was a wrestler and that he had this adoring fan base. So I think that he knew that we appreciated him. It's just sad that I think other people are going to gain a much greater level of appreciation for him now, only because he's no longer physically with us.